Welcome back once again with a little delay here on the second day of our WeAreDevelopers live week, our third edition. We are here in beautiful Vienna. You cannot see it behind all this jungle, but it is a great day. We are in the heart of Vienna. I don't know where you are. As far as I know, we have viewers from all over the world, so thank you very much for joining us today. Before we start, just a quick info from my side. My name is not Stefan Steinbauer. My name is actually Georg Kuttner. If I say good things, if I say bad things, just write an email to Stefan Steinbauer and tell him, why did you do that? Before we start with today's session, I would like to take the chance to thank our main partners here, the Vienna Business Agency and the City of Vienna. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So we are very thankful that you are part of WeAreDevelopers and also all the other great stuff you do regarding digitalization and bringing forward the City of Vienna in all topics regarding tech and innovation. Thank you very much, guys. But also all of our other partners, media partners, community partners that support us, basically everyone who is in Team WeAreDevelopers. We love you, we cherish you, you are the best. Thank you very much for doing this together with us. To all of our viewers that are probably in the millions right now, that's at least how it is in my head. If you're watching us from YouTube or Facebook, it's great, you can stay there. I mean, you have a lot of distractions there, you know. Notifications, suggestion for other videos. If you don't want that, you can go to our website and watch the stream there directly. It is wearedevelopers.com/live-week. Not only is it a very cool site, but you also have more possibilities to do stuff there. For example, use Slido. We asked all of you a question. We are very curious about your answers. It is, what is most important to you during a pitch and in a pitch deck? And you can also ask questions either directly to me or to the people who will speak after me, because in this session today, we have some great startups pitching, some amazing people from corporates that will be in the jury. A lot of it is around tech, obviously, because we are called WeAreDevelopers. But before we go into detail about what this session will be about and why we do this, I do have to inform you, and especially myself, I think, that we have a code of conduct here at WeAreDevelopers, which basically means be nice to each other. Don't harass anybody because of anything. But I think there are people that are better suited to tell you about this. So we have created a little video that we will show you right now. Thank you very much. Also, if you opened up your calendar this morning, you may realize that it is December 1st, which means only 1 month left in this year. We all hope that 2021 will be a little bit better. Also, it is the start of Christmas season, so if you do have a little advent calendar, I hope you get some great chocolate today. But even more important than that, December 1st is also World AIDS Day, which is a very important topic to me personally and also the team here at WeAreDevelopers. People around the world show their support for the people living with HIV or fighting against it. If you want to find out how you can contribute and what you can do, go to www.worldaidsday.org and inform yourself, do something, share something, whatever you want to do and feel comfortable with. Now, I'm not even sure, by the way, if you still have to say www in this ancient time. I have to ask my colleagues later. Whatever. We go to the topic now. As I told you, we have something very special planned for this morning session, a startup pitch session. And we do this not by ourselves. We have a great partner for that, the WKÖ Austria. Ö stands for Österreich, by the way. And for the people who know the WKÖ or WKO, maybe you know there are a lot of different, let's just say, subdivisions there. One of them is the Advantage Austria, which is a very cool name, by the way, and they do great stuff. More on that, not from me, but from a dear, let's just say friend, because we have known each other for years now, and I really, really like him very much. His name is Raphael Rasinger. He is the head of Advantage Austria, and he will tell you a little bit about what they do, but also what we will do in the next 50 minutes. So good morning, Raphael, and hi.
And what I do, and my colleagues do in the 110 offices. I'm very happy that today, out of a high two-digit number of applications, we were able to choose 6 scale-up ready startups, 4 European-wide corporates who will pitch today. And yeah, congratulations for being selected. And I wish you all the best for today, because the award is hot. We have 2 awards, one from WeGrow. This is a scale-up mentoring for scaling up internationally. And the second award is from us, where we support you guys, or where you can participate at our Go Silicon Valley workshop at the Vienna Up Startup Week, where the real profis come here and tell you how to scale up to the valley.
Nice. Did you already take a look into the startups that will pitch today?
Yes, of course. And they are from different approaches, from mobility, from high tech. So I'm really looking forward. I just saw the pitch decks, and I'm looking forward when they're now filled with life.
Great. So you do have some info about them beforehand. It's good that you're not in the jury, because probably you're biased by now. Me as well, because I as a professional moderator, of course, I did prepare myself. So it's good that the both of us are not in the jury. Speaking of the jury, we do have great people from, well, all over Europe joining us today, who will actually don't have a clue about the startups yet, so they have a fresh mind. They will hopefully ask some tough questions, and in the end we'll evaluate, so we can find out who the winner or winners will be and who will get those amazing prizes. I will introduce them now one by one, so you also get a feeling of who they are, and we will start with Oliver Blüher, country manager from Slack for the DACH region, obviously. Good morning, Oliver.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
So what are you looking forward today? Is there any special thing that you will look out for?
Well, I'm curious about who's thinking really big.
Nice. Let's hope everyone.
Absolutely.
Next up is the engineering lead from Accenture, Jochen Malinowski. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. And actually, I'm running our engineering overall business in the region, but also I'm responsible for our new technologies and innovation. So that fits pretty well, and that's why I'm excited to be here.
So you're the perfect person at Accenture to talk about this topic today. Great.
And I think, as we all know, technology innovation is now the foundation for a lot of new businesses and is really changing the world. And that's why I think these events are really, really great to make these ideas visible to the whole public. So looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Next up, live from Amsterdam, Gernot Schwentner from WeGrow. Good morning, Gernot.
Hi, Georg. Very, very proud to be here in the looking at Austrian startups and hopefully scaling soon and fast to international markets. So that's going to be my field today. And I'm looking forward to hearing all the interesting pitches.
Thank you very much. Are you cold? You are outside in Amsterdam. It's probably freezing, right?
Yeah, it's as usual a bit raining here, but it's going to be a good day.
Great. Thank you very much. Next up, we have from SEAT, Carlos Herrera. Good morning, Carlos. You are muted.
Sorry, I'm from Barcelona, and well, here is warmer than in Amsterdam, and
we are all jealous. Thank you very much.
I'm excited to hear about the startups and also from the innovative initiatives they have.
What is your role at SEAT? Can you tell it at SEAT? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, SEAT is part of Volkswagen Group, and I'm a digital innovation manager in SEAT in IT.
Oh, cool. So you're also the perfect person. Wow. Wow. I gotta congratulate our team. They chose a very good jury for this topic. Thank you very much. I wasn't involved in that, by the way. Thank you very much. Next up from Munich, Simone Mitterer. Good morning.
Hello from Munich. Hello from Futurists. So we are a digital innovation company. My role is looking at the communication and branding side, and really looking forward to getting to know the startups and hearing how they want to bring their vision to life.
Ooh, great! I think that's an interesting perspective that you can bring in. How many startups have you seen in your life regarding a branding and communication perspective that just have really bad names?
Good question. I probably have to think about that a bit and come back to that later.
So the answer is a lot.
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. Two more people left. We start with Jorian Bose. Good morning, Jorian.
Hi, thanks. I'm Jorian, as stated. I'm a Berlin-based innovation scout for the EU-funded EIT Digital Accelerator Program. I scout best-performing scale-ups and I integrate them into European corporate environments. So I look at this from a perspective of the value of the companies, mainly for corporate environments, so not so much focused on B2C. Logically looking forward to see the pitches.
Great, thank you very much. And last but not least, from IBM Austria, Franz Dornig. Good morning, Franz.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this morning. And my name is Franz. Thank you for introducing me. And I run our business development endeavors here in Austria, and also have an AI background.
So also very well suited to listen and evaluate our pitches today. Great. So we do have about 1 minute left before we should start. And the good thing is I have a question here in my moderation sheet, which says, Georg, please ask the jury, like all of them, usually what is the most important criteria for them when they evaluate startup pitches. But because I'm super spontaneous and I never follow scripts, I just ignore this question and ask all of you, all 7 jury people, what is something that you hear a lot when you listen to startup pitches that you really don't like? I think that's a more funny question.
I would say, Jochen here, I would say in general, the thing is always to have great tech ideas. That's fantastic, but always have the business side of it in mind. That is the thing that is sometimes forgotten.
When you hear pitches that are only about the tech and not about business.
Yes, exactly. There must be the link, right? That's the important thing.
Yeah, because if you don't have a business model, it's I always say if you don't have a business model, it's not a startup, it's a hobby.
Yeah, for me, what I really dislike, what still it's a standard, but starting before really testing and not really doing the ground research before really figuring out if people are interested and if they actually want to pay money for a service. I mean, it happens too much that people put in time and effort without doing that really critical groundwork. So
hopefully the scale-ups that we have today already did that. Otherwise. It would be weird and really uncomfortable for us.
Yeah, well, if they're scale-ups, they
hopefully,
different situation.
Good. I think we can start. We are right on time. I really do like that a lot. As I said, we have 6 startups that will pitch. We have about 5 minutes for each startup, which means roughly around 3 minutes for the pitch and another 2 minutes for questions and hopefully answers. I will set up a little timer here with me, which obviously you won't see. So I brought something else to all the startups. If you did prepare yourself very well and you pitch in 3 minutes and everything is good. If not, and you are running out of time, I brought a little bell, a big red bell. If you see it, maybe you should finish your sentence. If you hear it, then you should stop talking. I really hope I can use that because I think it's fun. But let's see, let's find out. Our first startup is called RT or RARTI. It has something to do with robots, which is always amazing, if you ask me. But more on that, not from me, but from Konstantin. Good morning, Konstantin.
Good morning. Hi, nice to having me.
Are you excited? Oh, you look excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Great.
Totally excited to see other people in this area.
Oh yeah, it's so nice, right?
In these times.
It's amazing. So you can share your screen, and as soon as we finish this little small talk and you start pitching for real, then I will start my little timer. And yeah, we are excited to find out what you do.
So you can see my screen.
Yes.
So thank you for having us. My name is Konstantin, and I'm the CEO and founder, one of the founder of RT, and we offer autonomy for robots. And we develop software for autonomous mobile robots, as you can see here. And as we found out, there's a lot of problem versus automation and flexibility, as the complexity of modern machines is rising pretty increasingly. Robots have a lot of things, so we need to be aware of. A robot needs to understand where it is, where's the environment, what are obstacles, where it needs to plan. It has some idea of environment modeling, reasoning, and all the things like connectivity, integration, and all that stuff. So a lot of problems. And this is why we came up with AI kits. AI kits are easy to use, have a model structure, and introduce an intelligence behavior to solutions from the customer perspective. So they come to us and pick the solution they need for their robotic solution, and we integrate them together with state-of-the-art technologies to deploy it easily to the end customer. So from the market side, we have customers already in the warehouse and logistics industry, but we also look very closely to the delivery industry, as there is a rising demand for autonomy almost everywhere, coming from the autonomous markets, from the self-driving car industry and so on. but this is probably coming the next years. From the business model point of view, we are selling software licenses. This means we have, as I said before, we have a model of structure, model design. You can choose what you really need, and then we have some kind of an integration period. And afterward, we see a viable, usable licenses for the fleet. And then we of course have an update cycle and everything for training and upcycling the performance of the fleet. So as you see, we see a lot of potential in the future for urban logistics, not only package delivery, but food delivery as well, or waste disposal. There's a lot of things we probably can do. To give you a short glimpse about our team, all experts in robotics, we have been together quite some time, all coming from the Technical University of Graz, from the developer side. We are also very proud to have Cambis on board. And yeah, we have been incubated in the Science Park for business development. And I hope I could give you a short glimpse about what we do. These are all partners. We are also looking for partners around the world. We are happy to be Inception partner, and yeah, wish you a nice day.
Right on time. 2 minutes 55. I like that. Even though I couldn't use my bell, but maybe later. Very interesting topic that you are covering. Not only for me, I think also for a lot of people in the jury. So we have 2 minutes now where you can either ask him nice questions or really grill him on topics if you want to. Whoever feels like asking a question can do that right now. And I think Franz already unmuted his microphone, so
yes,
let's go.
Thank you very much. Super interesting. So if you sell the software, how do you make sure that people will be able to implement it? Do you plan to do that for your clients, or is it the client themselves? How is this working from a service?
From the service point of view, currently we do it together with the client. We are serving for bigger companies right now. They are planning a bigger fleet and everything. But we have a roadmap ahead where we are looking for automatic procedures with, let's say, automatic configuration and automatic deployment, where the end customer can do almost everything on their own.
Okay. Konstantin, just a little info from my side. Can you stop the screen sharing, because then it's a little bit nicer for the conversation that
sure.
We see faces, because it's amazing in these times to see people. Who else? Oliver, you unmuted yourself, so I guess you have a question.
Yes, absolutely. So you speak about huge market, huge potential, etc. So where's your sweet spot? Which area is going to take you to your first 1,000 customers or 100 customers or whatever?
We are looking at the warehouse industry at first, because there the automation is already in progress, so to say. They already have AGVs and FDFs moving around, and we see a large increase of demands in these areas at the moment, because the technology is currently making a lot more use cases possible as ever before, and currently they can not only drive in factories but also can drive outside in intralogistics side, and therefore things are getting way more interesting for us on this perspective. And our first market is of course the European markets, where we work with companies for the automotive industry, for example, and yeah, and probably the next big thing will be also the package delivery and everything. But this is our probably a future perspective in the next 5 years.
We do have time for one last question, if it's a short one. Jorian, you just unmuted. Oh, and Gernot as well. Oh, Gernot was unmuted before, so yeah. So I'm sorry. For the next startup, I will prefer you. Now it's Gernot.
All good.
Hey, just quick question, because you said Europe is your market, and you already have a clear focus in terms of geo areas where you see growth in your market, or attractive markets in international markets. Of
course, we look abroad as well, but we are not big in size, so we need to narrow our customers in the sense of work in the hard to say we like to keep the standard very high, and we think that's only possible to get rid of all the development parts we see in front of us, and the big scaling opportunity comes a little later.
Great, thank you very much, Konstantin. I know it's not always the easiest when you are the first one to pitch, but it's also not easy if you're the second one. But before we go to the second one, just a quick reminder to the jury, please make your voting right now. Otherwise, the break that we have after all will be super long, and that will be super uncomfortable for me, because then I have to tell jokes, and probably then I get a problem with our code of conduct. So if you could vote right now, that would be great. I will give you like 1 or 2 seconds for that. Good. And in the meantime, I will introduce our second startup. It's also from Austria. It is coming from Linz, the second most beautiful city in Austria, if you ask me. It's called Carploy. Welcome, Albert. Good morning.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
How are you doing this fine morning?
I'm good. I'm super curious about other startups as well, because it's very interesting what startups are emerging in Austria. And I'm looking forward to do my 3-minute pitch. I hope I make it before you ring the bell.
For me, it's different. I hope you don't make it.
Okay, I will try.
Good, cool. Then we are curious about what you're doing. I mean, I already know, but the rest don't. So you can start to share your screen whenever you feel comfortable, and then you have all of our attention for the next 3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So, hi everybody, my name is Albert. I'm co-founder of Carploy, and we tackle the problem of the huge inefficiency in the daily way to work of employees. There are about 65% of all employees in Europe traveling to work every day by car. And the problem is 9 out of 10 are driving alone. So there's a big inefficiency that causes consequences for employers, for employees, and for the environment in terms of costs and CO2 pollution. And there are already some carpooling apps on the market, some long-term carpooling apps like BlaBlaCar, but also B2B carpooling apps. But none of the B2B carpooling apps made the breakthrough. And we did an analysis of this topic and have the solution for it called Carploy. Our approach is to analyze and simulate the potential of best mobility behavior before we implement the interaction. So we calculate the global optimum for a location, for example, for a company location, and then have the chance to find out what are the best carpools, what are the best ways to work for employees. We call it predictive corporate mobility. But in order to reach this optimum and make use of the potential, we have the carpooling app called Carploy, where we combine the best possible carpools on their way to work, but we also combine other private transport types like riding a bike and walking and public transport as well. So that's the service and interaction for users. And why should they use it? It's always the question, why should users use a mobility service? And therefore we have behavioral economics in place where we can dynamically tell users when they should use the service, and they get rewarded for it. So it's fully for free, and they get also intrinsic motivation because they see how much CO2 they saved, how much money they saved, and so on. As I said, it's B2B or business to business to employee. So companies pay for the service and they get a measurable impact. For example, we have one company who had the decision between building a new parking house and using our service. They decided to use us and saved millions. And it's also cool because we can track the CO2 reduction and provide it for the CSR reporting. As I said before, business model is business to employee. The companies pay us per active user. And we are already live for about 2 years. Had a big growth last year before COVID, and are on the market in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland with some major companies. And we have a great team of 8 people now. We also have a development team that is much bigger, but we are 8 people, specialists for geoinformatics and growing a software as a service business model. So that's from my side. I'm looking forward to your questions, and I see that I didn't make you ring the bell.
Yeah, that's because I forgot to click on the button, to be completely honest here. And I didn't want to ring it without knowing if I in the right or not. But it was a very interesting pitch, so also I wanted to find out more about your growth, because I think the last time I have seen you guys was about a year ago, and I'm very impressed by what you have achieved since then, especially since COVID hit. Enough from my side. 2 minutes now for the jury to ask some questions. I'm looking at who is unmuted already. Obviously, Jorian, you have first go if you want to. If not, I have seen that Jochen already unmuted himself. So,
yeah, thanks, Albert. It's I think in your case the business case that there is potential that is obvious, right? The question for me still is, and you said the other applications, which are obviously a bit different, and I haven't fully understood the B2B to employee, I have to admit. They didn't work, I think, because of also this behavioral thing, right? People just like, yes, there are all these options, but you know, it's my car, I jump in, I jump out. So how do you plan to tackle this?
Our approach is to calculate the global optimum of mobility for the location before. So therefore, it's easy for us to approach each user by push notifications. So it's a push mobility. All the other services, they have services where you want to get the ride from A to B, and you search the ride, and you have to search it almost every day or for the next few days, for example. In our case, we know what is best for each user, and we directly contact this user in terms of push notifications and tell them, today the weather is fine, you have 500 meters with your bike, you go by bike to the next cross, and then you go with your colleague to the location. So therefore we create security for the user, that they give up their own car and they have the security that everything works out in terms of mobility. That's our approach, which is completely different to other solutions.
Franz, I think you also had a question, if it wasn't the same.
Question actually. So how do you make sure that people actually are using it? Because the idea is absolutely clear to everyone. We all know the problem, and no one wants to kind of do it and fiddle around with it. I think you answered it so that you break through, because it's just a really good suggestion, which I just have to accept and say this is really a good alternative. And so that's the interesting part at the end of the day for me. So I think it's clear. Thank you.
Good. Then Jorian, you have the word now.
I'm curious about the churn. So you have a couple of beautiful clients, and you know there's reasons for them to pay for it. But my question would be, do they keep on paying?
Good question.
In March this year, of course, everything was upside down, and we managed to keep all companies. Of course, we did some deals with the major companies or major customers where they didn't have to pay until the certain usage again, but still they're paying, and we didn't lose any one of the customers.
Okay, yeah, it's tough time. So I mean, that's a good sign, of course.
No, that's very good to hear. Unfortunately, time's up. So for all the others who had burning questions, you can also write them in the chat or talk with the startups later. Right now, I would ask you again to give us your evaluation in the sheet. And in the meantime, I will start introducing the next startup. We stay in Linz for this one. The company is called Phenothek, but more importantly, the business that they are pitching is called Hallo Sophia, which I think is a great name from a branding perspective, but maybe Simone can tell us more about that later. Welcome, Markus. Good morning. How are you doing? Great to see you again.
Hello. Hello. I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
You look super ready.
Yes,
Amazing.
Born ready.
Ah, good. I love that. So same as with you, whenever you feel ready, you start, and I'm sure you will rock this thing.
I'm here not to talk about the disruption of the business advisory industry. I'm here to talk about the extension of the business advisory industry, to merge it with remote working tools and make it more impactful and more accessible for everyone. Our goal is to bring business expertise to every business in the world, everywhere. But let's start with the problem. Right now, SMEs have one expert for everything. There is maybe a bank advisor in a branch, or maybe a tax advisor who is the go-to expert of an SME. The crisis and the challenges of the crisis exposed that not all questions can be answered, that it needs to have very specific expertise. Of course, every big enterprise that can afford that already knows this, that you need special expertise and not one generalist for everything. That's why we developed micro-advisory together with banks and advisory firms to make business advisory more on point. From now on, with micro-advisory, it's one process for every business. Define a goal and find the suitable expertise for your specific problem, exchange thoughts, and find your ideas for your next steps. The network of Sophia's experts is basically open for everyone who can add value to business progress, to business development. Every traditional professions you see here, we already have on the platform. I would consider it the most holistic business advisory offer in the world. At least I didn't find another one. So from now on, there is one expert for everything in every available for every company in the world. But let's have a look in the future. Bill Gates agrees with us that remote work is here to stay. Therefore, we see a global, more digital, but still more personal world. Therefore, micro-advisory is the perfect answer to the new normal of business advisory, bringing specific solution-oriented expertise with individual knowledge transfer on point just a few clicks away. Sophia is therefore not only the global network, but also the personal assistant of the business and the advisor to make the collaboration as convenient as possible. But what can we offer for partners to scale with us together and make impact for small and medium-sized businesses? We can offer you the efficient access to a smaller market segment that was not coast covering for you until now. We can offer the global and universal technical infrastructure that can be applied everywhere where you want to apply it. Our services are tailored to customer needs based on interviews with over 100 SMEs, and continually we talk with at least 20 SMEs a week. You can monetize.
But you can finish your sentence.
Monetize your micro-advisory services like video and chat that were not monetizable until now. We are impact-driven.
That's a long sentence.
Accessible. Our new campaign. How else should business advisory work today? Tell me, and we have a new feature.
Oh, that was a good sentence. Thank you very much. And as always, please stop screen sharing so we can have a great discussion. I just got a little info from our back team. I should remind Jochen and Jorian to vote. I do not want to single you out. They wanted to, so please vote. And now we have 2 minutes to ask some questions to Sophia or Markus, but he's talking about Sophia. So
we are always confused recently.
Yeah, I know. Totally. Simone.
Yes. So you're talking a lot about your network and the partners you have. How do you secure the quality of your partners?
First, we thought we need to have a huge network that brings us all the verifications with the Chamber of Commerce. And of course, we have that for everyone who will charge as a licensed expert. But we also have the experienced entrepreneurs and the practitioners that are only validated based on user rating.
Good. Thank you. Franz.
So how do you pay them, or how's the charging model actually when I want a service?
It's an open free market. So basically, if an expert offers an hourly fee, then we take a revenue cut. That's state of the art. But as we saw so far, paying from the very first minute is not a thing. So mostly we go into the premium services, premium subscriptions for experts, that they have the full infrastructure for remote advisory, and then they get on top as an added value new clients over the marketplace.
Oliver, I see you are unmuted.
Yeah, so I understand the network piece, but what makes you unique? You know, like I'm getting 2-3 requests from those advisory firms that have a huge network to talk to investors, VCs, etc. So what's differentiating you from all those networks?
First of all, we are bringing our network to those who are not as lucky as you, Oliver, that have not the whole network, that don't know everyone who solve all the problems. And the second thing is we make it efficient, remotely, and price transparent. I don't think that you will stop working with your current experts. And I don't think that you will drop now the big names. But you can have, when a new question comes up or a new specific expertise you need, you will find someone here.
Good. We have time for one final question, Gernot. As always, or as before, short one.
Yeah. So I like the idea. We also work with around 100, 150 experts all over the world, not in such a platform, but aren't you a bit late to the party? I really like the idea, but how do you protect yourself? How is your fast go-to-market strategy?
So first of all, we are on the market, and with the micro-advisory approach, we are the first of all. And now we focus on communities. For example, this week we onboard, as a response to COVID, of course, 50 medtech experts from all over the world to join the network for medtech startups. And this is the go-to way, one step after the other. There will be 3-4 competitors in that world trying to cover the whole world. And it's a race, and the little niche at least will stay for everyone of those.
Thank you, Markus.
I guess.
Thank you for your answers, and thank you for your pitch. As always, it was a pleasure. But right now I have to cut you off because I see the next pitcher is already waiting and he looks super ready. I say welcome to Andreas from Control with K. Control. Good morning. Oh, you're still muted. I think now we can hear you.
The classic at every meeting, find the mute button. Yeah. So my name is Andreas Lauring. I'm co-founder of Control. My history is 14 years of corporate in automotive. And then I thought, what can I do to spend my time getting more traction? And that was doing a startup with a partner who actually had a genius idea. As mentioned before,
do you want to share your screen, by the way, or are you still?
It's coming.
Oh, it's okay. I wasn't sure if this is still small talk or already pitch.
So actually, Control was founded on an airfield where we attempted to fly beyond visual line of sight, and an authority said, "Well, first prove it, and then you fly, not fly first and then prove it." So this shows that actually, when we looked at complex autonomous systems, and they're fairly simple. Some are even implemented, for which one we get requests, that you have 195 countries in this world. Taking the numbers together, you have 36 million of rules that you need to comply to. Most Americans don't know that 50 states have 50 rules in the US, and they differ always a little, but our customers that try to go on the road know that, and they request us to implement compliance systems. So basically what we see is that there's been done a lot of work in automation, but the true thing, compliance to traffic regulations, has not been tackled yet. In Austria, there's 3 simple rules. You have to follow the Traffic Act, and emission rules in order to get a autonomous function on the road. But the proof, that's the question. And so we think trust is good, but compliance is better. That's why we're also working with the TÜV Rheinland, where we actually get a partner because they have the same problem. Humans inspect the cars. Basically, I couldn't believe it that for a modern shuttle, last mile vehicle, there is a person with a notebook out of paper in the car inspecting an ADAS system. And if you know that an ADAS system is 30 million lines of code, then that's a challenging task for someone to do. So what we did, we invented a formal verification method that then can be implemented first in the development cycle, and secondly, also in the vehicle, also maintaining that the compliance is there, even if there's updates over the air, like there will be coming more and more, as you know, from Tesla, for instance, where you can see that the car gets sometimes weekly, daily updates. And that's a big issue for certification bodies, because once you have the car in the field, how can you certify that the software that is in the vehicle still is as it was, as it functions as it should. So basically, here you see a funny dog. What we do is we are basically a watchdog for the software. So we don't do any of the automated driving better. So Tesla is probably the best, but that's a question of that we can debate otherwise. We just guarantee mathematically that it's in the box, the AI or whatever you have in the background is in the box where it should be. Our customers have grown actually, even during COVID. We started off with a sales funnel of roughly 300,000 euros in January. Right now we're at roughly 3 million, and we have obtained paying customers. Amongst them is Magna, for instance, but also some others in the Stuttgart area. Accenture is working with us in Munich. We have paying customers in the trucking area that, for instance, want very simple things like the people on a.
I have my bell, so finish your
sentence. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, cool. Then I ring it. Good. Thank you very much. Amazing work that you have done so far. At least that's what I think. Let's see what the jury thinks. Please. Oh yeah, Oliver, you're first.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your revenue model? I hope it's not a fee per line of code.
No, it's not. So we have a dual approach depending on the customer. So some are more classic; they want NRE for a project that reaches up to actually our largest quote this year was 1.5 million. For serial deployment, that's when it diverges. Some want a license fee per country, for instance. So then they want to deploy a truck, for instance, to UK, then they pay a yearly license. Others would like to integrate certain things just as in part of their BOM, where then a smaller license fee is charged. Always volume dependent, of course.
Yeah, I'm curious because I mean you're doing a great thing that's clear. But I was a bit curious how you're going to deal with potential competition. Also, from a perspective of if you can build this, somebody else can build it. And it's a bit, not a nice question, but
no, it's a fair question, and we have a very strong advisory board, also stemming from Stanford. So what we try, we have basically IP protected from mostly in process, not in software code, from the beginning of our product. That is the translation of rules and regulations into a formal language, which we have developed. Secondly, we tackle the problem from the other side. We don't try from vision towards how can I prove things. We try to prove things and give a specification to the perception set, which also reduces the cost and gives clear KPIs to not just the customers, but also other stakeholders like the TÜV, like an authority, etc. But we have roughly 10 to 15 patents covering the whole range. And ultimately, my personal opinion, you need to be faster.
Definitely true. Good answer.
Carlos, you do something with cars, I think. Do you have a question here?
Yes, I'm wondering about like this kind of solution is good with like the cybersecurity also, Software for the car. Does it need?
So we don't do cybersecurity, but we need cybersecurity to secure our system. What we do is basically giving, so to say, test drives, for instance, that have only subjective assessment KPIs. But I'm happy to follow up because that's becoming a little bit more technical. I have a slide in the backup, but I guess that's above the 2 minutes we have now.
Yeah. So we're already over time. The good thing is we are over time in general, but we do have a break afterwards, so it's not that bad. Nobody is killing me or us. For that, at least, that's what I hope. We have 2 startups left. The next one is called Newsado. Welcome and good morning to David. In the meantime, as always, dear jury, please vote or give us your feedback. Good morning, David. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks. Great.
You look also super ready. So same rules and procedures as for the people above. 3 minutes to pitch and 2 minutes afterwards. Ooh, nice shirts, by the way.
Yeah, it's there too. Yeah, with Newsado, we crafted an AI-based news ecosystem that can be used by end users and corporates. Let's name it Spotify for news or European Google News alternative, however you want. What we are doing is collecting all the news articles from many news sources permanently with our NewsAbot collector. With our NewsAbot analyzer, we are extracting all information out of the articles. We extract the relevant tags or locations or other information, and we link it in the background to our entities. Building a knowledge graph behind gives us the context of the articles, so we can categorize them automatically. With our NewsAbot vectorizer, we calculate 300-dimensional vectors out of the articles that describe the articles in detail. So we find out similarities and can bundle similar articles. And then with our intelligent matching algorithm, we are comparing the article vectors to our user vectors and to match the most relevant articles to the users. In the end, we're having a very detailed user profile. For the end user, that brings news based on interests, based on relevance, for example, with personalized push notifications. It brings a personalized news timeline and all relevant news sources in one system, free one and premium ones. It's about organizing the news cross-device, so using during the day Amazon Alexa, an Apple iPhone, a Microsoft PC, Samsung Smart TV, or maybe in your car, a car entertainment system. Your news are always connected, so you can bookmark cross-device and you're always up to date with your favorite topics. In the background, we're collecting a lot of data, so we can share the data also with partners. It's aggregated territorial data or it's single user data. We're running a research project together with well-known research partners for becoming the technological leader within Europe in our field. And we are serving a digital business model for the European publishers, so monetizing the content in a common system and giving revenue shares to them. At the moment, we have more than 115 publishers on board from UK and the German-spoken countries. But that's another topic today. It's more about other use cases, so to partner with corporates. We are doing that. For example, we can build a customized news app, Newsado app, for a special platform or device like a car entertainment system. Or we can make news plugins, for example, having within a CRM tool automated news channels with the latest news about the customers, or for a group messenger, including a news plugin that serves automatically the latest articles about a topic within a group channel. We can make big data analysis of the users who are using these apps or plugins, and we can share the data. And yeah, we're open to talk about partnerships.
I just wanted to grab my bell. Good job! Thank you very much. It was about right around 3 minutes. And very interesting topic you were talking about. I'm curious about what questions the jury might have right now. And I see Oliver is already unmuted, Jochen is unmuted, Franz is unmuted, Gernot is unmuted. I'll pick Jochen, just because I can.
Thanks a lot, David. I mean, my first reaction was, okay, it looks like a collaborative filtering algorithm and looks like many other stuff. But then the more you talked, I saw the more specific things you do. Still, I think there is a lot out there in the market to, you know, group the news together, etc. And I think, like always, the network effect will play a role here. So what's your approach to gain quickly, you know, a market share in terms of collaboration with all the news providers, etc., etc.?
So there's a big problem in the industry, in the media industry, and the solutions that are out at the moment are not a solution, but they're more the problem. So Google News, Facebook, and so on. And so we are delivering a European alternative, European solution for the European publishers, and that's the boost in the end. So really partnering with them and not just taking the content and monetize it by ourselves. To getting the market share, we're focusing since now, let's say 2 or 3 months on the user side, so on usability and functionality, especially for users. And there are coming now some great features, I think, that have really viral potential. Also the campaigns, I think will work quite fine with this new features. So I think the basic we've done in the last 3 years, all the technology parts is in Europe. I don't know another startup doing the same or on that level. So I think from the basis now, there is a quite huge potential for use cases and especially also to reach the end users.
Thanks.
So we have time for one more. So the 3 others need to fight for it now, and Oliver was the fastest. So it's you.
Thanks. What's your stance on privacy and GDPR compliance? When I see profiling, you mentioned you can leverage it with partners, etc. What's your take on that, and what do you do to stand out here and differentiate yourself from the alternatives that you mentioned?
So for sure, data is that can be monetized, and that's the problem of the media industry, that they haven't the data and they cannot monetize it at the moment. So they need other partners to do that. We want to give that option to the industry, but in a way that it's with our European mindset conform. So it's mainly not to combine user data with a single person, but to monetize it within the system, to monetize it based on the DAX and so on that we're having, but not connecting with a single person. Also to take it as collaborated data, you know, so for special regions and so on, to make analysis. So there are quite many options to work with the data, but not doing it in the same way than some others are doing it.
Great. Thank you very much, David, for those answers. And of course, obviously also the pitch. We have one startup left, and then we have the big finale where the jury can decide who's the winner. And I get the honor to announce that. But more on that later. Left Shift 1 is the name of our last startup, and the pitcher is called Patrick. Good morning, or almost good, well, lunchtime. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ah, nice, I like that. Ooh, cool background. Oh, not a background is gone, but we have your slides. This is almost even better, symbiotic artificial intelligence. I'm curious, I hope the rest of you are as well. 3 minutes to go, starting right about now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Patrick. I'm CEO and founder of Left Shift 1, and AI will help companies reduce costs by billions of dollars. But 87% of all AI projects do not make into production. Why? We have some challenges here. To creating a machine learning model is not really rocket science anymore, but we're talking about not from 2 or 3 machine learning models in a corporate. In the future, we will talk about more than 80, 90, 100 machine learning models to reduce costs. We had to operate them, combine them. We had to scale them in the corporate, organize with release management and train the models. We had to collect all this data connecting with legacy application. And the important point is to be sure that the models are explainability and trustworthy. And so we created Europe's first independent AI operating system that respects your freedom. What means independence? We don't using any service of Google, Microsoft, and so on. We have our own machine learning models or from certified partner to create solutions here. And what means freedom? We enable our customers that they can create their own solutions. There's one important point in this case. We are not a standalone solution. We combine all this standalone solution in the whole company and belongs to their value chain. So what we have data that getting in the platform in our workflow engine. We have the skills. So it's a marketplace where you can find our machine learning models or machine learning models from our third-party providers, or the company have their own machine learning models. We deploy them, scale them, connect them to create new applications here. So what we do here is we combine or bring them together, the data scientists, the business analysts, software developer, and operations, and create this platform for them to do what? The important thing is to generate savings, and we doing combining process automation with AI, and we do hyper automation in this case to create unlimited solution. What is the advantage? We are 5 until 10 times faster any common setup to generate saving and reducing cost for our corporates. A lot of them are using our platform at the moment. We have McDonald's, EVL, Fresenius Kabi, and so on. And we are sure in the future, 87% of all AI projects make it into production. This is our vision. And we are LeftShift 1, founded in Graz, staff at the meanwhile 40 employees. We invested 75,000 hours in our platform. We are invested by Hermann Hauser, and we are very proud that we this year one of the top 30 companies for AI in the DACH region. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much.
And thank you. You also will get some questions from our jury. Let's see who wants to go first. Oliver again, and then Franz.
How do you make money?
Good question.
Money, good question. Typical, we have a yearly license fee for the basic, and then we have the skills. So that means for every skill, we have also a yearly fee, and how many concurrent runs do you need? So for every skill, you need a concurrent run. And if you need more, how often the skill is provisioned on the system. That's it, really easy. And for our third-party providers, they also get a revenue when they give us a machine learning model for the company. So it's really license fee, it's easy. And one point is important, I guess, we don't calculate any computing minutes, something like that, because we're going on-premise in the infrastructure of the customer. And so it's easier for them to calculate the costs, because computing minutes, nobody has a clue how many minutes they need for the whole year.
Franz, was this the same question that you had?
No, actually it was more like the competitive positioning, because so many actually are jumping to this hot topic, or have been jumping into this hot topic, the big ones, small specialized ones. So how do you think you're gonna survive this in there?
One point is we going in the internal infrastructure. This is the one point. So we are on premise, and we have the stuff with the explainability and the trustworthiness. We are on top on edge in this case. This is one point. Where's the difference? And for the machine learning stuff, I would say it's not at the moment. It's very easy, and we are very fast to get new machine learning models in place in production. And in the future, it's not necessary anymore to tweak these models. We know that it is more important to get new models in place, and this is what the platform made for.
Good. We do have time for one last question if somebody really wants to, but please make sure that it's a really good question, because this is the last question of this session, and I want to finish on a high note. Oliver, I know the bar is very high now. I'm sorry.
Let's see. So final question on this one. Are you leading this company by yourself? Are you the sole founder? Or among those 80 employees, do you have like a core team, a management team, co-founders around you that complement you with the different skills you need?
We have, of course, we have 5 co-founders from 3 software architects coming from Bearing Point, software architects for enterprise development. We have Hermann Hauser on board. We have Franz Fuchsberger, founder from Trescent. This is our, I would say, investors team. We have sales infrastructure in place with our sales team, and we have interdisciplinary teams for the development. So we have DevOps with AI. So we have, this was a big deal in the beginning of 2020 to make this or to implement this structure for scaling. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this question, this answer, this pitch, and also for all the other people before. Thank you very much for participating. Now, we do need a couple of minutes for the final voting. In the meantime, Raphael and I will do some small talk or a little recap. Raphael, how do you feel after the session? Was it interesting for you? I think the answer is yes, so let's just skip that question. What was the most interesting thing that you learned today?
Yeah, for me, the most interesting thing today was pitching is possible virtually, and it's really great. The feedbacks you get, and you don't need to be at one spot. So, great job.
You know what popped back into my head? This is something that I always like to share with people. Maybe I don't know if I've told you before, but a couple of times today we heard about the DACH region, which obviously for us it's very easy to understand because we speak German, and DACH means Deutschland, Austria. I think it's weird, the DACH region, because it's not really especially when you do it in English. So I came up with a better solution for that. And this is my gift for all of you. When you talk English, don't say DACH region, say SWAG region. Switzerland, Austria, Germany. And it just sounds cool when you say that. SWAG region. So Oliver, maybe you can go back to your peers at Slack and tell them, please change my job title. I want to be country manager of SWAG.
Great idea. The counter proposal, make it the gas region.
The gas region? I like my one better. But maybe we can let the people in Slido decide. Maybe you can tell us right now, what do you like better? SWAG region? Gas region, or let's include the DACH as well, but that's not the best. I'm curious about that. Now I see in the meantime no more need for uncomfortable small talk, which is good. We have winners. We have 2 winners actually, and I think Raphael, we should do this together. So do you want to announce the first winner and I do the second, or?
Yes, let's do it this way.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, we start with the drums, and the winner of this pitch competition, I'm very happy to announce, is Control GmbH. Congratulations!
That was some applause. What do they win?
Yeah, what do they win? Control GmbH. As you already have been to our Go Silicon Valley program, which speaks of us, that you gained the prize. You already scaled with the Go Silicon Valley program. So I have an alternative award for you to give.
Ooh,
we
quarterly,
surprise. We have to be flexible too, so that the award makes sense for you, Andreas. And thank you very much for the jury for really voting everybody. We have all votes put together. So it was really a neutral vote. And congratulations for that, Andreas, and to the jury. And as of this great result, we thought about inviting you to our exclusive investor dinner taking place at the Vienna Up a startup week in May. We hope, of course, the pandemic situation is over then, and we would like to invite you to the exclusive investment dinner in Palais Ausberg.
Ooh,
welcome.
That sounds fancy. If I've learned one thing over the past couple of years, dinners by the WKO are always very great. Amazing food, amazing people, and especially if it's the exclusive investors dinner. Raphael, can I get an invitation too? Can we talk about that later?
Yeah, let's talk afterwards.
He said yes. That was the first thing that. So for me, it's a yes. Thank you very much. I think it's now my time and my pleasure to announce the second winner, which will get the prize from WeGrow. Maybe Gernot can talk a little bit about that afterwards, after I have announced this, and it is, I give a drum roll to myself, Carploy. Congratulations, Albert! Gernot, what can Albert and the team from Carploy expect?
So I'm very happy to be able to hand it over to Albert and the Carploy team. I see lots of potential for international scaling. So this is typically what we advise on and help with a strategic eye, but also very hands-on. So I think what Albert and his team can expect is good view and first feedback on the Scalability International, looking how ready they are, feedback on that, and a couple of sessions where we dive into the obstacles and then maybe develop a mini roadmap for Go-to-Market International. So that will help him and his team to grow even faster.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the people in the jury. Thank you also to all the people that pitched today. I hope it was interesting for you, our viewers. Obviously, thank you very much, Raphael, for doing this together with us. I think that's it for this session. We are only 15 minutes behind time. For my personal record, that's kind of good. I like to Gottschalk it from time to time. We do have a little short break now. So grab yourself something to eat, to drink. And we have an amazing program in the afternoon where once again it will be all about software development. So we have amazing talks surrounding single page application, data visualization, JavaScript frameworks, TypeScript. So what else do you need? For me, that's perfect. I'm really looking forward. We will start again at 1 p.m. with a talk from Thomas Konrad from SBA Research. Quick info from my side. We will change the stream here on this page. So if you want to continue to watch our program, make sure to refresh your browser after this break. And I wish you a great day, a great program. Take care, stay healthy. See you later. Goodbye.
Thanks.